you've actually. So what you've done there is you've generalised. You've said Christians as if we're one group. I myself am a critic of Zionism, but at the same time, I think that whilst Israel is a threat to local Christians and should be dealt with as a threat to local Christians, it's not an existential threat to all Christians. Whereas it doesn't want to be filmed. So just voices only. Yeah.
So it was the last question. So
yeah, it's all right. No filming. Right. But Hamas and the Islamist groups that have taken over the Palestinian Authority and taken over the Palestinian cause, when they're finished with Israel, they're not going to stop with Israel. They're going to go after other Christians because they are already persecuting Palestinian Christians now. And if Hamas and Islamic Jihad and other Islamist groups are already persecuting Palestinian Christians, it clearly shows that they're an existential threat. And for that reason, I'll support Israel over Hamas and support Israel over Islamic Jihad.
I've come across a guy that's a Christian in the PLO.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got a Christian in the PLO, how are they going to be?
The PLO doesn't give equal rights to Christians in Palestine. It is not permitted. It is not permitted by the PLO for Christians to evangelize Muslims. It's not permitted by the PLO for Muslims to convert to Christianity. And so for that reason, the PLO is as much against the church as Israel is against the church. But I'll say this, the PLO is also just a regional threat to the church. The problem is not the PLO. The problem are groups like Hamas and Islamic Jihad, who are part of a much wider Islamist jihadi movement that has global ambitions, not just regional.
What do you mean by jihadi?
So I mean by these scummy, filthy dogs who use violence to impose Sharia by force over others.
What if a Christian group came about, a militia, and they put Christian laws? Would you say they're the same?
Let's not just get away. Let's not just change the subject. We've got. There's a spider coming towards you, bro. Looks like a meanie, that one. Skip over the fact that we have this Islamist jihadi movement. Do you think that it is right for Christians to and for others to fight against this Islamist jihadi movement?
Which one? ISIS.
All of them.
Hamas, because I'm Palestinian and they're under fire. I'm not going to.
JC. He doesn't want to appear on video. Just voices.
Just voice only.
Turn the camera that way. Just audio, voices. Just capture the recording.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't put him on camera.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm talking about every jihadi militant. The PLO is a secular movement. The PLO is a secular nationalist movement. So let's just separate these two things out. Can a Christian fight against ISIS? Can a Christian fight against Boko Haram? They're kind of like the ISIS of Nigeria.
They're like ISIS.
So my point to you is...
Was to fight outlaws.
Yeah, so my point is that the aim in fighting against Islamists, whether that be by hand or by mind or by word, because Islamists are the vilest kind of human being.
What about Palestinian Christians fighting against Zionism?
Well, obviously I'm on the side of the Christian every time. So where Christians,
the Palestinian Christian group came about.
So where Christians are fighting against Israel's treatment of the Palestinian people, I'm on the side of the Palestinian Christians.
What if for example, in Lebanon?
But I'm not going to ignore the fact that groups like Hamas and Islamic Jihad and other Islamist groups who have kidnapped the Palestinian cause for their Islamist filthy agenda are persecuting Palestinian Christians, and you shouldn't ignore that either. Don't talk to me about Israel's treatment of Palestinian Christians unless you are willing to condemn every Islamist in Palestine who persecutes Palestinian Christians. Are you willing to do that?
I still don't know what you mean by Islamist. Is that just
I've told you.
No, hang on. Because ISIS is one thing, Hamas is another thing. I wouldn't put them in the same category.
Right, I do, and the reason why I do is ISIS and Hamas are two sides of the same coin. ISIS has in its constitution that it's going to fight the Jews everywhere in the world. It's literally in its own charter. It makes references to the idea of fighting the Jews until Judgment Day. Hamas is committed to the idea of the dimitude of Christians. That means that Christians in an Islamic state set up by Hamas would be second-class citizens, where they don't have the same rights as Muslims. That trashy worldview should rightly be opposed by every decent human being. The question is, are you a decent human being? Are you willing to oppose Hamas's intention of making Palestinian Christians second-class citizens?
Anything Hamas does against Islam, I condemn it.
But Islam teaches that. The dimitude of Christians.
If you talk about, for example, the jizya, that's one thing. Let me tell you about jizya. Right?
Yeah, that's dimitude.
They don't. Okay, the jizya is, for example, let's say we're in a Muslim nation.
Yeah.
I pay zakah, you pay jizya, okay?
They're not comparative.
I have to be in the army. I have to defend you. You're not in the army. That's how it is. I have to be in the army.
Yeah.
Conscription. What's it? You're not in the army. You're not even allowed in the army.
Can I reply? Okay. Now, I didn't interrupt you when you said that. Please don't interrupt me. Firstly, you've got a false equivalence. Jizya is not equal to zakat. Jizya can be up to, I think, 50%, whereas zakat is set at 2.5%. Zakat is a redistributive tax that only benefits Muslims. Jizya is taken from Christians and is taken and used by the Islamic State, not specifically for the benefit of Christians, but for the benefit of Muslims, particularly to fund jihad against other Christians. Secondly, jizya results in it's kind of like a protection racket. It's saying that if you don't pay this tax, we're going to punish you. Zakat, I agree, has a punishment if you don't pay it. But my point is, they're not comparative. They're not comparative.
But the thing is, right? There's no zakat is like a worship, right? Now in Islam, it says no compulsion in religion. So how can we force you to pay zakat in Islam? How can it say no compulsion in religion and make you pay zakat? Jizya is something else, but in return you're protected. I have to be in the army. I have to protect you.
Right, hold on. The Islamic armies don't protect Christians.
No,
Islamic armies in Islamic states uphold the tyrannical caliphate.
Well, that's wrong.
Let me finish. Islamic armies do not protect Christians. Islamic armies uphold a vile Islamic dictatorship that oppresses Christians as second-class citizens. They are not there to protect Christians, they're there to oppress Christians. That's historically what's happened. Islamic armies have helped to suppress Christians through 1400 years of Islamic history, through every single Islamic caliphate that has ever been anywhere in the world. Christians have been persecuted and Muslim armies have upheld that persecution. My point to you is, bro, like, you believe fantasies about your own religion. You've got this romantic view of your own religion that it just doesn't line up with history, it doesn't line up with facts, and it doesn't even line up with the teachings of your own sources. You're believing a fantasy because you want to think nice things about Islam, but you're not doing the objective study to see if any of those romantic ideals actually work with the facts on the ground.
I feel you're looking at it from a negative, trying to find a negative. You're looking at it in a way that will push you to keep Christians to see Islam in a bad way.
Islam is bad. Let me give you an example, right? I want to tell you, let's say I started a political party today, and in my manifesto, I said that Muslims couldn't have the call to prayer in the mosque, that they couldn't do dawah, that anyone who converted to Islam should be killed and will be executed, that Muslims have to pay a tax that can be up to 50%, whereas Christians only pay a tax of 20%, and I said to you that you couldn't repair your mosques. You couldn't repair your mosques without our permission. That you couldn't display your faith out in public in a way that people could see.
Well, you can have churches.
Wait, one second. Would you say that such a political party is a good political party or a bad political party?
If it said we couldn't have mosques.
If it said that you couldn't build new mosques and you couldn't repair old ones.
I'd say that's a bad thing.
Right. Well, that's exactly what Muslims did to Christians for 1400 years in Egypt and Spain.
Under Umar, I know that the Christians, there was churches, and you let the Christians, have churches, and that's what I know.
Right, but Umar, you've got to remember the point that this occurred. Thank you. You've got to remember the point that this occurred in terms of Islamic history. The Muslims had literally just conquered the known world, right? They didn't have the administrative power to apply all of Islamic teachings immediately because they were vastly outnumbered by the Christian populations that they just conquered, and they didn't even have the power to govern on a day-to-day basis. Their armies used to sit outside of the cities because the cities were too vulnerable a place because they were surrounded by their conquered peoples. So my point to you is that at the time of Umar, it makes no difference that these things happened. Umar couldn't have stopped them anyway.
Even if the Muslims are in full power, there's nothing I've come across, no Quran, no Hadith, that says the Christians can't have churches, the Jews can't have synagogues.
Only if it's paid jizya.
No. It's in the constitution of. Bear with me. I think it's in the constitution of Umar. Could you, one of you Google the? I think it's the Treaty of Umar. Sorry, thank you. It's okay. I'll put these down here. Try to remember them.
I don't think they could have practiced Christians their faith without paying jizya.
No, of course they had to pay jizya.
There you go. So
But
where was actually freedom there?
It's the Pact of Umar, right? So in the Pact of Umar, okay, let's go. These are the terms of the Pact of Umar.
Actually, it might be a descendant of Umar.
Right. Well, Umar was a bad guy. So the Pact of Umar states things like this, right? It lays down the particulars of the dhimmi, the authenticity of the. Let's just the text of the pact, right? This is what Christians had to agree with under Islamic rule. We will neither erect in our areas a monastery, church, or a sanctuary for a monk, nor restore any place of worship that needs restoration, nor use any of them for the purposes of enmity against Muslims. We will not prevent any Muslim from resting in our churches, whether they come by day or night, and we will open the doors of our houses of worship for the wayfarer and the passerby. Those Muslims who come as guests will enjoy boarding and food for 3 days. We will not allow a spy against Muslims into our churches or homes or hide or deceit against Muslims. We will not teach our children the Quran. We will not publicize the practice of shirk, polytheism. Brother, he doesn't want to be on camera.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Okay,
So there you go. I've just read it to you. The Pact of Umar says that Christians cannot build churches and they cannot repair churches.
which website is that?
That's the Pact of Umar. You just look up the Pact of Umar, pull it up from whatever website you want. Right. Here's what else it says. Right, bearing in mind, saying that you can't publicize practices of shirk, bearing in mind that
Would you
Muslims...
disagree with that?
So
As a Christian, would you not agree with that?
Muslims accuse Christians of shirk. So when it says don't display shirk, it's saying don't display Christianity.
Away from Christianity. For example, a Christian nation came and said we're not going to allow Hindu idols and that. Would you not agree with that?
No, hold on 1 second.
Okay, I know you're saying that they're referring to Christianity.
Did Muslims in the classical period and Muslims today say that Christianity is a form of shirk?
The Trinity is, I believe, yes.
Right, so therefore they're saying that displays of Christianity are forbidden in public.
And did they mean the
So
cross?
yes, so they're saying in Christian lands that they've just conquered, open displays of Christianity were not allowed. Yes, the Levant, that was Christian before Muslims invaded it.
Became Muslim.
Yeah, centuries later.
before it was
No, but no, no.
Christian, the Christian
But hold on one second. Let's not escape what I'm saying. Muslims conquered Christian land and said you can't display your religion publicly in your own land. Is that evil? If we conquered Iraq, easy as pie, and we conquered Afghanistan, easy as pie, if we had turned round to those conquered peoples, not we, but the Americans, and gone, you can't practice Islam publicly, would you have called that evil?
Had Christianity been the religion of truth and with evidence, and it says that in Christianity, then yes, I would.
You're an Islamist apologist. You're saying that it's okay for Muslims to do something that Christians can't do to Muslims.
What I'm saying is,
so
basically,
there you go.
If,
At which point you've just lost this debate, bro, because you have no moral context.
Because if you're, let's say, the Christians at the time of Jesus,
Yep.
he's going to come back and he's going to rule. Now let's not do that. If he's going to say, I'm against, we believe he's going to end the cross.
Yeah.
If he's a prophet for me, I have to follow him.
Yep.
If he's saying we're not allowed to have crosses, I'm not going to say no, democracy, everyone can have the.
Yeah, but Muhammad's not a prophet.
Oh, I believe he is. That's where we disagree.
Muhammad's not a prophet, and the reasons why we know he's not a prophet is because. Are you aware that the Quran states that Allah will protect Muhammad from mankind?
I mean, did he not do that?
Right. Okay. Are you aware that that's what the Quran states?
I don't know. I don't actually.
Right.
I don't know.
The Quran states that Muhammad will be protected from mankind. Okay. Are you aware that Muhammad was bewitched?
Is that in the Islamic?
Yeah, it's in the. Would you like me to show you? Would you like me to show you? Again, I haven't got my Quran on me, so.
During his prophethood or before?
Yeah, but during his prophethood. Let me show you. So a man bewitched Muhammad, and Allah said that he would protect Muhammad from mankind, so Allah can't keep his promises. And if Allah can't keep his promises, Muhammad, who said that Allah was going to protect him, is a false prophet because he's saying things about God that aren't true.
So why, if let's say the prophet's point, if you guys believe that he's not a real prophet, why is there not another Quran? How come all the people now with the technology, you can get all the Arabs that speak Arab well but are anti-Islam, and with all the technology, could you not come up with something better than the Quran?
Wait, 1 second, bro, 1 second. Bro. Oh, he's just letting him walk away from my argument. Bro, the reality is that's got nothing to do with what we're talking about.
I want to see this. I trust this website.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they're talking about.
This is sunnah.com, right? Listen to what it said. That Allah's messenger was affected by magic so much that he used to think that he had done something which in fact he did not do, and he invoked his Lord for a remedy. So that's the first problem, right? Is that because of black magic, Muhammad was misguided. He thought he had done something that he didn't do. So black magic meant that Muhammad had been misguided into thinking something was true that wasn't true. Now, Allah has said that he will protect Muhammad from mankind, but a Jew has bewitched him. Right? That's your first problem.
But God healed him, it says.
Yes, it does say that later. But the problem is, he's bewitched. Allah has failed to protect him from black magic.
So he healed him after.
Yeah.
Before that.
He should have protected him. He should never have been.
Not happen.
Well, you could still say at the end he was protected.
But no.
No.
If I'm protecting you now, I'm stepping you in front of him. He wants to punch you. Am I protecting you? He wants to punch you now, and I'm stepping here. Am I protecting you?
Yeah.
But yeah. So now if he,
But
Let's say you get a slapping, but then he pushes back.
Yeah.
He's protected me. Fine, I've had something done to me, but he's.
But would you agree then? Would you agree then? His protection is not complete. Stop being rude. Convert to Christianity. Fuck Islam. It's the religion of the paedophile.
Come on, all the people. You know, in that argument,
that was the
in those days, a 9-year-old's not like a 9-year-old today.
There's no evidence for that.
And even the enemies of Islam at that time, they never had a problem with that fact because everyone was doing.
You're still. One second.
Richard the Lionheart, his wife
No,
was 11, and he's
no.
a Christian warrior.
You're letting guys. Can we please just have one conversation. Right. Allah has said that he will protect Muhammad from mankind. Right?
And can I just ask, was that verse, was it in a general or was it a specific incident? Like, was it they're going into war? And
All of the verses of the Quran have a specific incident.
some of them are general, some are specific.
No,
For
they
exa-
all have a specific incident.
Well, some can be general.
Yeah.
For example, could it not mean that there was a time of war? And
So, if Muhammad gives a promise to Muhammad that he's going to protect him, but he doesn't manage to protect him, but instead deals with the consequences of his failure to protect, right? So let's say I'm going to attack you. He wants to protect you, but I manage to get a smack in and I splatter your eyeball, and then he stops me from attacking you further, and then deals with helping you repair your eyeball.
so he's maybe protected me from killing me, but not from.
But his protection isn't complete, is it?
But at the same time, what I want to know is the verse specific to an incident. For example, was there a battle the Muslims were going into, and that's when the verse came down, or is it general?
Well,
I need to not research it.
Here's the Quran states, and this is what the Quran states. I mean, we can pull it up if you want. I've got to find it, but I want to stick with this hadith because there's more problems in this hadith that demonstrate Muhammad is a false prophet. He's a false prophet.
It's the camera, you know.
Yeah, he's a false prophet because he speaks. Yeah, that's fine, bro. He's a false prophet. He's a false prophet because he speaks that which isn't true about God. He said God would protect him. God didn't protect him from witchcraft. But here's the real problem. According to Islamic sources, all magic is the work of the devil. Did you get that? Did you know that?
I think I might have heard it.
Yeah. So all magic is the work of the devil, right? That means that when Muhammad was being affected by black magic, he was being misguided by the devil. Which prophet would you want to say in the Old Testament was misguided by the devil?
Doesn't it in the Bible say that a prophet wrestled with God? For me, that's more far-fetched.
That's changing the subject. Stick with this. You asked me why do I say Muhammad's a false prophet? I'm giving you my reasons.
Said, which prophet would get bewitched? For me, a prophet, that just shows he's human. But for me to say a prophet fights with God, then why's he a prophet if he's fighting with God?
So the fact that the problem is not so much, the problem isn't so much that he is bewitched by the devil. The problem is that Allah promised to protect him and failed to do so.
I mean, that verse.
Can Allah fail in his promises?
No.
Does Allah promise to protect Muhammad from mankind?
I need to know about, was it specific?
Well, pull it up then.
I don't know.
You've got a phone, use Google.
Because there's some verses they'll be specific to an incident, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Also, in addition to that, you've got the fact that a Jewish woman poisoned Muhammad.
Exactly.
If Allah said he's going to protect Muhammad and then someone manages to poison him, where's the bodyguard? Where's Allah the Almighty bodyguard?
Did you know
It would go back to, is it, what was the verse?
Well, you pull it up then. You pull it up.
If I find something else.
Yeah. Right? Let me just pull up the ruling on talismans.
Yeah, I've just read the verse. Yeah, there's a woman who poisoned Muhammad.
Yeah, we know that.
It didn't even affect him.
It did affect him.
Yeah.
It did affect him.
They told him, the Jewish told him, if you are a false prophet, if you are a liar, you cannot die straight away. It says here, it's an immediate death. But if you are a true prophet, Allah will protect you. In the same hadith, Allah and Prophet promised Muhammad, Allah would not let it happen.
But then,
Muhammad didn't die.
but then later he states, it says that if Muhammad wasn't a prophet, Allah would cut off his Iota, is what the Quran states. The Iota is one of the veins that leads to the heart. Muhammad stated after the poisoning, he said, I still feel the effects of the meat that I ate from the Jewish woman. I feel like my Iota is being cut off. That's what he said.
No, I think
Yes. So I just want to. Let 1 second. So I just want to pull it up.
Sahih Bukhari 4048, isn't it? Sahih al-Bukhari.
You follow al-Bukhari?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as a Muslim, I believe in
Muhammad protected.
books after Al-Quran.
Okay, okay.
Brother, hello. Not hating about found that verse that mentions Allah. It says to people, like
Right. So,
when Allah says wait, it means like
right, I'm just while you're looking, bear with us.
It's a bit.
So you look at Mozilla.
There's something saying.
Right, hold on 1 second, because you said you interrupted my conversation.
Sorry about that, yeah.
So that's fine. I accept your apology. So in Al-Mahdi,
Al-Mahdi, yeah.
Al-Mahdi, sorry, not Al-Mahdi, that's not where I'm going, sorry. In Al-Bukhari 4165 it says this. Aisha said, the Prophet
Yeah, I know that verse.
used to say, during the illness of which he died,
Yeah.
"Oh Aisha, I still feel the pain of the food I ate in Khyber, and this time I feel my aorta is being cut from that poison."
Can I read the Arabic one, yeah?
You pull it up. I ain't got my phone. So that's Sahih al-Bukhari 4165. So Muhammad is saying that he's dying of the poison from the Khyber. He still feels.
4,168, yeah?
No, I didn't say that. 4165.
65.
Yes. Muhammad is saying. No worries, bro. Right? Come here, bro. Right? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've read the hadith, yeah?
Yeah.
He feels still feeling pain from
Exactly.
that woman, yeah.
But he died of the illness.
Yeah.
But the Jew said, if you're from God, you won't die. But he died of the poisoning.
Yeah.
He died later
Just
of the
ask
poisoning.
Sheikh, yeah?
It made
He
him
got
ill.
Affected.
Yeah, he was affected.
Yeah.
But he
But
agrees
the
with it.
poison didn't
Yeah.
kill him because my evidence is there is a hadith that I cannot find, which there was a what's it called?
I think this might answer something.
Sorry.
Sorry, we got two conversations going on.
Do you follow Sahih al-Bukhari?
Yeah.
Right, go on. You go on.
Well, I trust this website.
Yeah.
And the question is reconciling between the verse.
Yep.
Allah will protect
Yeah.
you from the people.
Yep.
And the death of the prophet. That's the question.
Yeah. Go on.
It's a long answer, so I'm going to try and
States that
find a bit where they summarise it.
Yeah. I've also read this, so I'll help you.
Do you know it?
Yeah. Let me show you. Yeah, I've read it. Bear with us. It's a Sahih Hadith.
It's Islam QA. Do you know that's the website I go to generally?
Yeah. That's fine.
people person to kill him. Then when they saw that he was praying, they didn't do it.
Basically, he's saying that what could have been, there's more than one opinion. It could have meant there's more
Again, they saw that he was
protection from
praying, they didn't do it.
extensive harm,
So then Muhammad
which
gets
is
another,
pretty
they
much
see
what
him
I was
praying,
like,
they do it.
what
He
I
gets
first
caught,
understood.
they see
There's another
God.
opinion here that says
Muhammad
that
had
it was
jealousy,
on his mission,
basically,
like, because they've
tries
asked
to
about
get
his death.
to us, his
So
followers.
while he was on his missions, he was protected. I
Right.
need to ask someone like this question because it's very
Where the
specific.
Quran says,
I need to ask a scholar. It's hard for me as a layman because if the verse may be general or it might be specific.
Right. Bear with us.
We don't know what book this is. This could be the Injil. The Gospels were written. What is
Can I go
happening?
and
I'm
come
so
back?
sorry. It's so
What's happening?
distracting.
I think I'll follow the drama now. Let me just see what's happening.
Well, I need to check whether a Christian is in that drama. Whose phone is this? Thank you so much. Have a read of that. Come back with your questions, bro. Come back with your questions. But in the meantime, I want you to explain to me why Allah failed to protect Muhammad from the influence of the devil. Because remember, Islam teaches that magic is the work of the devil. So there's this hadith that states that Muhammad said that talismans and incantations are shirk. And then one of the Sahaba said to Muhammad, why do you say that, Prophet? I go to a Jew when my eye is swelling and he gives an incantation and the swelling goes down. And then Muhammad says to the Sahaba, he says, no, it isn't the incantation that's doing that. But it is the devil, he is the one that makes the swelling go down when the Jew speaks, but when the Jew stops speaking, he takes it away. So in other words, Muhammad teaches that black magic is the work of the devil. The hadiths teach Muhammad was subject to black magic. So why did Allah the Almighty allow the devil to influence Muhammad's mind?
Needs a scholar. I'd have to ask a scholar.
Well, go and ask one. Because I try to ask all these so-called gibberish scholars we've got in the park. Self-appointed sheikhs are plenty. Ali Dawah will run away.
I've seen
Go and tell Ali Dawah to come and debate me. He'll run away. He'll run away.
Ali Dawah, look, he's not a scholar. He's not a scholar.
And Ali Dawah is not a scholar.
I mean, I respect him. He does good work. He's not a
Yeah, but my point is, I've got all your sheikhs on the run, bro. Last week, I liquidized the brain of one of your sheikhs, so much so that he was so beaten in argument, he turned violent.
He's a Syrian, I think, because his name, Damascus.
Yeah, he's now known as Abdul Crutch.
And to be fair to the Muslims, as biggest corner, they have condemned his actions, but from my conversation with Muslims.
Okay, did they put it on camera? Off
Put it
camera.
on camera, but
Yeah.
So basically, I just want to remind
Anyway,
you.
God bless. Take care.